Hey y'all, welcome back to another stream. It is crazy lately, but in a good way. I've got a lot of things on my plate. I'm just double checking the YouTube connection. Yes, looks like it did connect properly this morning. Great. Yeah, I've got a lot of things on my plate in a good way. I've got like a, what do they say, forward momentum. So I am doing great. I'm excited for what's down the road, and all is well. However, unfortunately, there's only so many hours in the day. I reserve these streams for when my husband is working, and sometimes things overlap in a negative way. But the good news is I am here now. The bad news is the bad news is I neglected some household chores to get some of these things taken care of. So, like, for example, the first thing that I had today was a doctor's appointment that had to be rescheduled. That didn't impact the stream so much, but then I also had to do something for my career coach, and that I expected it to take a lot of time, but I was not prepared for how much of a lot of time it ended up taking. So there is that. Not that I'm complaining, it is ultimately for a good reason, and it will have, like, I'm already seeing dividends from my time with my career coach, so I'm not upset at all. You know, if she tells me to do something, I will do it. It might take me some time to be able to set up to do it, but I will do it. That being said, I have learned that I am not a great teleprompter reader. I would be better, so I do not have a career in television. We'll just say that. But as a result, I have neglected my household chores, so I do need to run around and do some of those. I'm going to check something real quick. I need to reach out to a couple friends about a few things that have come up over the weekend.
but one thing at a time. Yeah, anyway, sorry. I've got there's something I need to check periodically for. Or need to check for periodically. And I will say that I spent a lot of time talking earlier today, so my words might not come through as concisely as I otherwise would prefer. But it is what it is. I do also want to call out that it doesn't look like there were any votes for the story impact on YouTube. That's completely up to y'all if you want to do it or not. But I will say that that makes me sad that they aren't that there's no votes. And I did say that the polls would end when stream starts, but since there's no votes, I'm going to basically keep the possibility of these open until I actually start writing. So whenever I'm done with the household chores and stuff. I also have a couple PC related things to do. When I first started thinking about doing like all the co-working and stuff, part of me was thinking about doing video editing too as a part of that, but I decided against that just because, I don't know, maybe I will still do that. Anyway, I'm just fiddling with a couple things on the browser side. Sorry, guys. But yeah, I want to go around doing some of my household chores, these things. So that's why we're in the co-working mode, or just chatting. So I will be up and down. Oh, I do need to also inform people that I am streaming. I did it on Instagram already, and my Discord notifications went out, yay, but I did talk about doing this here. All right. But yeah, I am... oh yeah, but before I get to the chores portion, gosh, I've got so much to talk about before I get there. I'm going to go over my regular spiel. First of all, currently I am out of work, so I've been doing more writing streams than gaming streams, just because writing also, I can publish my writing, and that would be nice in the overall scheme of things. I have always streamed my writing in November, mostly on Twitch, but more recently on YouTube too. And this month is no different. I'm not putting myself under the NaNoWriMo banner anymore. It is November Novel Challenge. And this month I've decided to do community for a various number of reasons. One, because this month's, I can't talk. One, because I am streaming. You guys are part of my community, and that is important to me. Two, because it is November, and November is all about Thanksgiving and community and things like that. So, yeah, we're going to keep that up. Three, I've decided that this month's story is going to be community driven. With all those polls and things that I keep talking about. And at 4, because, I am streaming for charity, so babydj.org is my charity of choice, and all revenue from this month does go to babydj.org. So if you donate bits, if you stick around for ads, if you sub, all of that goes to charity. And so, and that's a huge part of community too. So there's so many avenues of community involved here that, you know, it just makes sense that the theme is community. I don't think I'm going to do a monthly theme, but I liked it for this, so this is what we've got. What else? Oh yes, and also because we are doing the revenue for Baby DJ, I do have, I have been writing them since last month as a way to, you know, help improve my income. It's not a lot. It is literally pennies on the dollar, but I do run ads every hour for about, it's 1 minute of ads for every hour, but at the end of the stream, I do also run 3 minutes of ads. And again, that all goes to Baby DJ, so I would be honored, I would appreciate it rather, if y'all would go ahead and stick around for all of that. That is for the Twitch viewers. YouTube viewers, I do not have monetization on YouTube, so if you do want to help out, you can go ahead and throw a like and subscribe, and that'll help me bring the YouTube side of things a step closer to being able to do this through YouTube. So I appreciate it. And just one other thing, this is back for Twitch viewers. If you do want to impact the story, if you think I should change the character's mind, if you want to introduce a new character, if you want me to go wild and change the genre, if you want me to delete my novel and start over, there is a menu down below that's, you know, if you donate a certain number of bits, you get this. Also, if the viewers donate certain thresholds of bits per day, then you can see more and more of the story, so half or full page, essentially. And also, there are sub goals, so if you, for Twitch, if I get to 200 followers, I will reveal the page for a week. For YouTube, if I get 100 subs, I will reveal the page for a week. And then if I get both, the page will be revealed for the full month. So those are those things. I feel like I spent a full 10 minutes just rambling about all of that. There's just so much to talk about. I even talked about points, but points are fun. You are accumulating them as you are, you know, watching and active and things like that. With all of that rambling being done, now I will go ahead and get to some choresy things. If I am not back for the Twitch viewers, there will be an ad starting in about 13 to 14 minutes. But yeah, I will be, and I'm not going to be gone for like very long. I will like get up, do something, come back, check for the chat, say hi, and I'll just basically, this is what I call ping pong. I'm just going to ping pong around the house. So you might hear me do stuff in the office. I put off kitchen cleaning this month. Yeah, till next month. Just because so yeah, you'll hear me ping-ponging around. I will not mute my microphone, so you might hear me cursing, you might hear the vacuum going, you might hear me talking to the cats. But I will be keeping an eye on the chat when I come back into the office. Yeah, so I will be right back. Well, I will be back. I won't say right back, but I will be back. I'm gonna put myself on distracted mode just so that, because I will be away from the computer for a bit. I can't type. Hold on. That should work. There we go. Alright, so I will be back. Alright. What to do. I woke up Roomba. Alright, no new chats. I will be bouncing away. My husband's computer. He's watching to help out. He's not at his computer, so I'm gonna do this. Stream elements. You're so weird. Okay. Alright, so did a couple of my at-home chores already. Have a couple more to do, including laundry. So I will be poking my head in again every minute or two. Just check up on the chat. just checking in, making sure I'm not missing any chats. Doesn't look like I am. Twitch viewers, there is an ad starting in about 1 to 2 minutes. Just a heads up, I am continuing the chores. That. This. Alright, y'all, I'm checking back. How is everybody doing? I got a notice. Point system. Okay, yeah. Alright, back to chores. Ah. Alright, y'all, how y'all doing? Still hanging in there? Okay, cool. Alright, looks like nothing new in the chat space yet. So I'm going to resume my my choresing. Oh, it looks like there's another notice that came up, or no, that's from before. Okay. But yeah, I will be back again in a couple minutes. Alright, y'all, how's it going? Okay, looks like the YouTube side is a little to form about points. I'll check the oh goodness, I'll check the timers once I'm done with chores. But I will be back. All right, y'all. Let me actually get into the room. All right, y'all. Just a couple more things to do. I don't even know if you can hear me. Let me get in front of the microphone. All right, y'all. Just a couple more things to do, and then I should be able to pop my tuchus back in the seat. Just a few more minutes. Thank you guys so much for your patience. guys, I'm back. Alright, let me get my butt into the seat. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Oh, looks like the points system is not having issues, but is being spammed on both sides. Alright, let me take a look at the timers. And sorry about how long it took that second, or the most recent bout of choresing. You know what happens when, I was doing laundry, I needed to take some stuff out to the garbage, and then I realized that the laundry garbage needed to go out too, so I took that out, and then I saw that the mailbox was open, so I went to go check that, and a bunch of back and forth there. And I took down the trash too, so I don't need to do that later in the day. But yeah, now we are checking out timers. So give me a moment to jump over to that. Okay, so let's see the new point system timer. Okay, so point announcement. So I have it set to run between every 3 minutes and okay. So we're just gonna put that at every 30 minutes to an hour. So I think that should fix that. Anything else? Nope, okay. So I haven't done any of my gaming stuff at all today so far. None of it. Okay, and so yeah, let's get to some gaming, shall we? Alright, so we've got our currently blank gaming setup. Eden, sorry about that. This is going to be relatively quick for each of these, so I'm not going to worry about changing the stream title. We're just chatting while we go through it. World of Warcraft, we probably will change the title. Or if it tends to take, or if it feels like it's taking more than 5 minutes, then I'll change the title. But another Eden's another one where I just do the login stuff. Oh yeah, I have to do the scavenger hunt. I'll put my headset on. Alrighty, here we go. Okay. Sandy here with windmills, and okay, that's Brookie Village. So we are going to go. No windmills. I always get these two places mixed up, so. Okay, here we go. Okay, and now we just gotta go to Baruki Village, which is in the same era, so let's go this way. Alright, sorry about that. I was just turning off notifications on my phone. Well, I was swiping away notifications on my phone. Alright, so there's that. Grabbing the inbox. Okay. And that's it for another Eden. Alright, oh, AFK journey, yes. Let me see if I can do this in studio mode without switching the screen, because that was honestly a little embarrassing. Oh, I don't think I have AFK journey on here. Oops. We can fix that though. I think. I can't type. Let's see. Doesn't seem like it wants to. Sorry, there we go. Do that. Okay, I think what you're seeing is perfect. Thank you all for your patience while I do this. Double checking the other computer. Yep, looks good. All right. Just going to run through the usual stuffs. New Graveborn Hodgkin. I don't usually look at the hero info, honestly. Ooh, that was new. Okay, info box. Oh! It's not actually capturing it. Hold on. I feel like I had this problem on the other setup too. Disappointing. I don't know what just happened there. That was weird. That shouldn't be capturing my avatar, but it somehow was. No. Yeah, I'm gonna have to fiddle with that later, I guess. I think what happened was when I closed the window, it went to the next window. Avatarception, I suppose. But anyway, next will be Final Fantasy, so let me get that prepared for y'all. Wait, I don't even think I have that one either, but that one should, fingers crossed, be easier. Oh, that's right, Final Fantasy recently had an update. Let's see if I can even play it right now then. Make sure to type in my password correctly. Letters, numbers, symbols somewhere in there. Oh, it has to download. Great. Well, I guess we're not doing that today. 24 minutes? Yeah, no, we're not doing that today. Sorry, Squeenix. I'm giving a couple seconds to see if it decides it wants to change its mind. Nope. Streaming's probably not helping it either. I'll do that overnight. If I remember. Alright, so... yeah, and I know y'all didn't see any of that, which is fine. But World of Warcraft... yeah, it's well past maintenance time. So there shouldn't be any issues with that. If there are, then I guess we'll just get to some writing. Oh, it's 1 o'clock. I'm not feeling very hungry, but I should probably take a... we've got 30 minutes in game. We'll say that. We'll give ourselves 30 minutes, and then I will break for lunch, and then from 2 to 4, we will just get cracking on writing. Yeah. Part of me's like, I need to upload something for content creation, but I honestly spent an hour doing a video summary for myself. So I'm not going to allow myself to be too bothered by the fact that I'm not at video editing or uploading pictures or something like that. Oh, apparently there's a helicopter going around the area. Okay. Anyway, sorry. Yep, we are in World of the Warcraft now. So we are going to go ahead and actually set the game name for this. So give me 1 second. All right. All right, so that should automatically set for Twitch. YouTube doesn't need it so much. I'm kind of digging the jazz lo-fi girl. What do you guys think? Alright, and remember, we've got, well, thanks to my distractedness, we've got a bit less than 20 minutes to do this. Last I checked on this character last night, she had 1,500 auctions to post. So let's see if we can get some of those out of the way by 2 or 1:30. And then we'll break for lunch and then we'll get to writing. Alright, so I was doing crafting last night, so I'll close that. Okay, we're still at 1500. Alright, expired. Alright. Post! I'm reading over the Discord ad on that I put up for YouTube. I might actually redo my Discord. I feel like there's like way too many channels for not as much activity. And go through a couple of my my community Discords that I'm a part of and see if I can get some inspiration on revamps. If y'all have ideas, let me know. I like suggestions. Okay. I think scanning's going to take the longest. Alright. I do like how I haven't had any leftovers yet. So we got 200-ish down in about 5 minutes. Let's see. So another 5 is 21. 400. Trying to figure this out in my head. I'm not the best at mental math, so I do need like a calculator or something. But so we got like say 1300 to go. Takes 5 minutes to do 200. So 1100 would be 21. 900 would be 26. So yeah, it won't be cleared up by the time we're going to break for lunch, but that's fine. That's fine. It's fine. I'm gonna have soup for lunch. I'm not sure if it's gonna be potato or minestrone soup, but it will be soup nonetheless. Do. Alright, oh, we finally have a leftover. Not sure why. I think it's the stuff that threw it off, but that's fine. Alright. While we wait for this to go through, just checking for certain things. Sorry, I was refreshing a page. Maybe I need to look for it elsewhere. Okay, let me... Oh. Distracting myself here. It's not a good thing. So yeah, I think we'll get even less than that. Like, what did I predict? We'll be down to 900 at 130. With me being this slow, it's probably not even going to be that low. We'll see. Oh. Okay, that one, for whatever reason, is not... I'm just going to manually put you up. Okay, yeah, it's the of the stuff, for whatever reason, and it's counting the purple. Yeah, okay. It's fine, it's fine. Just manually post it. Okay. Trailhead bag is definitely not going to sell for 9 million, but that's fine. Gotta reach out to a couple people. If not today, then I'll probably do it after I end stream today. I'm expecting an email back from someone. I haven't received that yet. Oh, let's take care of that real quick. All the guild bank tabs are full. That means Warband. Need to restock that anyway. Yeah, I don't have any feedback from the person I was waiting for. And then there's somebody who I'm going to need to reach out to tomorrow if something doesn't come up. Okay, we are under 900 though, so cool. Maybe we'll get to 700. Maybe when we get back, I'll also do the Stream Raiders. It was kind of fun seeing people interact in that way too. Yes, I am clicking on my browser while I wait for this to scan. All right. I got way too many windows open though. Okay, there we go. Whoever tries to bring you down is already beneath you. Remember that. Alright, again, no leftovers. This is going to be looking like it's going to be a clean, overall a pretty clean mailbox clean out. I think I took care of most of that last time, the other day, so I don't doubt that that had an impact. We're in the 700s. Nice. All right, let's run this post scan. I think this will be the last one. Alright, so we'll post these guys, and then we will take lunch. Yep, like the YouTube reminder says, I am streaming in support of babydj.org. Don't forget to check them out. They are a local charity that I support. I've been very bad at talking about the charity, but this is a local charity that helps families have a Christmas, regardless of whether or not they celebrate Christmas. You know, if the family's having trouble bringing food to the table, bringing toys for the kids, you know, if they have to choose between a Christmas or dinner, you know, the charity seeks to make sure that families can bring a little joy to their children. I got the honor of volunteering for the warehouse, setting it up last year, and I've heard so many great stories. Like, I've heard so many great stories before I was able to volunteer. Fortunately, this year I can't volunteer, or I'm not at a point where I can volunteer. But I am always humbled by like the experiences other people go through. You think you're going through a rough patch, you know, keep your ears open. There's somebody who's probably has it worse or similar to something that you're going through, and it's like, oh, yeah, I might not have a job right now, but you know, at least I've got the ability to look for a job. I don't have any additional stressors or anything like that. So I thank my lucky stars. And well, I might not be able to volunteer because I have to keep myself open for job interviews. And I can't like donate as much as I used to. I can still do this and be able to donate a little bit. Nothing is better than something is always my motto. Oh, I thought we were going to end it. We'll go ahead and wrap up the mailbox clean out. We're down to 600, so that's good. And then we're going to go ahead and take a step away for some lunch. All right, y'all. I am going to have myself some lunch. I'll tell you what I have when I make my way back to the computer, and when we get back, we'll get to writing. I'll see what the poll results ended up being. My husband's vote doesn't count because he said just eeny, meeny, miny, moe it. If we don't have any results, we'll just RNG it. So yeah. I'm going to switch the screen for Twitch viewers. There's an ad starting about 4 minutes anyway, so I'll just run a real quick ad for y'all. Since I'm not going to actually be streaming, I'm going to actually run a 3-minute ad for y'all. And you guys can, you know, chill out and support. Go have your own lunches, and I'll be back around 2 Eastern. So in about 30 minutes. Probably before, a little, honestly, looking at my track record, probably a little after. But I will be back around then. Alright, y'all, I'll see y'all in about 30 minutes. Later. Stepping away. Hey y'all, hope y'all had a good lunch. I am back from my lunch. Alright, let me take away the pins. Alright. Unpin, okay. And now we're about to get back into some writing. Let's check the polls. See if we got anything usable. All right. Nope. There are votes, but that's my husband being silly. I was talking about last night, and yeah, so those don't count. So we are going to random number generate these. So we're going to start with the first one. This is about Celia's dad, who lost his job. When will he get a new job? So we're going to do, currently I think it's like early April in game, or in story, but roll new job for Celia's pop. 1 April to May, 3 June, 4 July, 5 6 IDK. So basically may or may not come up. Or here, figure it out later. Figure out later. We'll figure that out later. Okay. And now roll. Well, this one I'm not going to do because nobody voted for it. It's a free impact. Nobody wanted the free impact, so we'll just let that one be. Okay. Okay, and okay, so what happened last in the story, Vanessa basically quote-unquote broke up with Sylvia. Their friendship was deemed not good for either of them by Vanessa's parents. Vanessa's parents encouraged her to end the friendship, and so it happened. And Sylvia's been a bit of a Debbie Downer since then. And so let's go ahead and read what we've got in the last couple paragraphs. She had cried plenty the day that Vanessa handed the note, but after that she just numbed herself to everything around her. The classes that she shared with Vanessa, she only stared at the teacher. She did her best to ignore her former best friend. The other classes continued relatively as normal, but Sylvia found herself paying even less attention and trying to require more focus to get the information needed from her teachers for those classes. The only exception was the final class of the day, her art class. She had already done the mindless art project, as she dubbed it, and so she just needed to finish the cat sculpture. She was on the final touches of it, using a small scalpel to create a fur effect in the clay. Here, she found she could muster focus, if only because she found the activities simultaneously interesting and relaxing. Even at home, she no longer found solace in painting, as she had previously. Every time she tried to look at her paints and canvas, she thought about the last painting she had done, picnic scene for Vanessa. She was also reminded about how she failed to properly share her paintings with the Academy of the Arts, and was therefore ridiculed by them, not really, but she felt it, as not being good enough. Instead, she found herself on the couch watching the television much more often than she normally had. Sylv? Her dad asked gently, as he took a seat next to her one afternoon. Yeah? She asked, her eyes not moving away from the cereal commercial that was currently displaying flashy colors on the screen. What's going on? He asked gently. He asked. His body turned toward her. She looked over at him, saw him giving her his full attention, and quickly turned her attention back to the television screen. Nothing, she quickly answered. Quickly. That is the key word for right now, apparently. Anyway, nothing, she quickly answered. Then why the... he asked a new question. I'm not... She started to protest that she was depressed, but that would be a lie. She knew she wasn't herself lately. She knew that she had been barely more than she had been putting forth barely more than the minimum effort. Since she received that note. You're not? Her father prodded her to finish her thought. She shook her head. And then pulled strands of loose blonde hair out of her face and leaned back into the soft couch cushions in frustration. I'm not anything, she blurted out. I'm not Vanessa's friend anymore. I'm not a good student. And I can't... I'm not a good student. And I can't even do something as simple as turn a packet of art incorrectly. She lamented loudly. Her eyes were up toward the white ceiling as she let go, or she aired her feelings. She did not want to see the look on her father's face as she released all of her fears and sorrows. Tears started spilling down her cheeks. I can't find a job that I like, that I want to do, that will hire me. I can't market myself to sell my paintings. Heck, I don't even want to do my paintings anymore. I want to... She paused and then continued. I want to just burn them all. It would be best if I never picked up any sort of paintbrush. Whoa, he said. He said with a surprised voice. Maybe he didn't expect all of these emotions to come out at once. Either way, she felt him get closer to her, and the next thing she knew, her body was enveloped in a hug within his caring arms. That's a lot of depression. I'm sorry, Self. He apologized. I didn't know things were weighing on you so heavily. She sniffled and allowed herself and curled so that she was crying into his shoulder. It's not fair. Other kids have it easy. They can learn without any trouble. I have to work harder just to even take notes. She sniffled. She sniffled again. Ooh, there we go. And then I have to work harder to read the notes and make sure I understand enough just to barely pass a class. She took a couple of quick gulps of air. And then I have to work harder to read the notes. But even then, because I put so much focus on that, but even then, I still have, but even with all of that, I still have trouble doing simple things. Like remembering to lay out the proper items for... She took a breath. Her dad probably didn't know about the art incident, and she was content to let that be slay, to not bring it up any more than she needed to. For projects that need them. And then things get pushed back, and I miss deadlines, and teachers get upset at me for it all. She hiccuped through her tears. And I've got friends, she whined, mostly to herself. But most of them are busy with each other, or their jobs, or preparing for their college, for their colleges. I don't have any of that. And then I found Vanessa, and I thought she thought I was a carnival animal or something, because she thought I was weird and unique and interesting. And I thought she thought I was a carnival animal or something because she thought I was weird and unique and interesting. But it turns out she didn't. She was jealous of me. I'm not sure why, but she said as much. And I'm just gonna have to go back into the thing later and edit that. Alright. But it turns out she didn't. She was jealous of me. She wanted to be more like me. I'm not sure why, but she said it. But she said so. And we eventually became friends. We weren't friends that day at the park, by the way. We were friends after. We became friends after. She explained her mind, her voice just iterating on her thoughts as they came out. Her dad just nodded and listened, so she kept going. But yeah, Vanessa and I became very close friends. We couldn't hang out after school much because her parents were strict. I don't know why for that either. But Vanessa seemed afraid of making them upset, so we didn't hang out. So we didn't hang out as often as we could have. So we only had school where we could really do things together. She gulped. But now, her parents have said they don't want us to be friends anymore. I don't know why. Her voice rose into a whine with the last sentence. And her body began to tremble. Vanessa says she didn't agree with them, but she does also agree, which I don't understand. Sylvia shook her head into her father's shoulder, which I don't understand. Why don't her parents like me? After Sylvia finally calmed down, after Sylvia finally calmed down after her rant, her father leaned back and looked at her into her tear-soaked face. Vanessa's parents said, "You couldn't be friends anymore?" I don't know, you've got a lot going on, Sylv. Sylv. Sounds like the hardest part right now is what happened with Vanessa, right? She nodded slowly. Her lips pouting and trembling. Well, he said, squeezing his daughter's shoulders. If that's how her parents feel, we should respect that. But Celia started to protest. He held his hand up to stop her. But nothing, he said. Do you think they're abusing her? Celia thought for a moment. Vanessa always seemed cautious about her parents, but it seemed more like a reverence, not wanting to get them upset, rather than anything that she would be actually fearful of. No, she finally answered. They always seemed strict, but not abusive. Sorry. Let's see. And if there's no reason to believe that they're abusing her, then there's no reason to disrespect their parental authority. He explained. She's their daughter, and as long as she's under their roof, she does have to respect their wishes. And while we don't live under their roof, we also have to respect their wishes as long as it doesn't hurt anyone. Celia frowned. But why? How would you feel if someone else's family looked at ours and said that we cannot eat donuts anymore, Yes, referring to one of Celia's favorite junk foods. Although we allow it in moderation, they think it would be best if we didn't allow it at all. That's not fair, Sylvia parsed. I can't do that. Right, her father explained. Just like we can't force Vanessa's parents to change their mind on the two of you being friends. I don't have any answers about why they decided to make that choice, to ask that of Vanessa. But it's still their right to do it. Sylvia frowned, but nodded. I think I get it. How did Vanessa feel? He asked. Sylvia shook her head. Vanessa didn't agree with them, but she said that she understood why they were doing it. She repeated herself from a minute ago. I don't understand what she meant by that, she complained. Her father nodded. It could be quite cryptic. It seems like there might be something that you don't know about. Do I really want to spell it out? I don't think I do. So let's try this. Her father nodded. It seems like quite the quandary. But you do realize that you can understand something and still be against it, right? Why something is happening and still be against it, right? The young woman sighed and thought about his question. She had plenty of examples of that, such as being forced to sit up and take notes. Although, because the teachers think that was the best practice for students. Or not eating too many sweets before bedtime because it could cause stomach problems later in the night. With a weary sigh, she nodded. Yeah, I still don't know why they said it though. They said we can't be friends though. I am missing words every other sentence. I'm sorry. Be friends. No. Vanessa said she didn't know why. Vanessa said she didn't know why either. Did she, like, this is what editing is for, so we're just gonna go with it. But I don't understand. But a thought came to Sylvia. I don't understand. If she didn't know why they're saying it, then why does she agree with them? Maybe she sees a different reason why it might be. No. Why does she understand them? Maybe she sees a different reason. Maybe she sees a reason why they might want it, even if they haven't told her. Her father pointed out. Maybe. How has she been since she told you that you cannot be friends anymore? He asked. Sylvia frowned and looked down at the seat cushion between them. I don't know. I try not to look at her during class. If you two were as close as she says, as you make it out to be, her father replied. And this is probably hard for her too. Even if she understands why it might need to be done. A lump formed in Sylvia's throat. Stretching. Sorry guys. Okay. Oh, hold on. Alright. Yeah, somebody had pinged me in Discord. Alright, where was I? If you two were as close as you make it out to be, her father replied, then this is probably hard for her too, even if she understands why it might need to be done. A lump formed in Sylvia's throat. If it's hard for her too, then why do it? Because sometimes it just needs to be done. Like mowing the yard. Her father explained. Sylvia blurted out her feelings that were already obvious. This is literally just word bloat. You don't have to like it to accept it. Her dad said, but I do have an idea. What's that? Do you and Sylvia, you don't have to be friends to talk. You and... Yeah, I'm not worried about that timing. Okay. You don't have to be friends to talk. Why don't you see if you two can find a point to talk sometime in the school day and find out what's really going on, or at least why she thinks having the why she thinks her parents want the friendship to end. That means I would have to talk to her. Sylvia pouted. Yes. Don't you want to do that? Well, yes, but not like this. Her dad laughed. What? She said, eyes darting up at him for daring to laugh at her pain, or while she was feeling pain. Celia. He said her full name. You haven't gone through very many hardships in life. I know this. I know it doesn't feel that way. With some of the personal struggles that you go through. Still, in terms of hardships, your dissolved friendship with Vanessa might be one of the biggest. Sylvia was left speechless at her father's words. Of course she felt hardships throughout her life. She just shared a bunch of them with her father. He did recognize some of them, but he labeled this current one with Vanessa as the biggest, as one of the biggest. He continued. Adjusting myself in my seat. Give me a sec. But yes, maybe it was, considering how she was currently feeling. Continued. Hardships aren't something that you just walk away from, he explained. and they're not something that just resolve on their own. You have to work for the hardships to be overcome. My job situation. Take my job situation, for example. I still haven't found work. But I am actively searching. And in the meantime, your mother has returned to the workforce. We're working through the hardship of unemployment together. I was going to go somewhere with this, and I completely forgot where I was going to go with this. See, hardships aren't something you just walk away from, and they're not something that just resolve on their own. You have to work for the hardships to be overcome. For your situation with your friend, you can, you do have options, which are talk with her and see if you can find a way for the friendship to end with more understanding between the two of you, or or you can try to walk away, or you can try to walk away from it. But you just said he gave her a look to cut her off. He gave her a look, cut her off, and continued. Or you can try to walk away from it, but you just said with the plan to learn from it. It's different from just walking away. You might need therapy. Yeah, I'll just go back to edit this. I'm not liking this passage as much. Alright, he gave her... If the plan to... It's different from just walking away. You might need therapy to overcome... to fully be able to walk away. But... you can do what it takes so it hurts less. So it turns less from a hardship that you walked away from and more into a bad memory that you walked away from. Sylvia didn't really get it, so she just nodded. Of course, he continued, his voice lightening up a bit. You could also ignore their parents' her parents' wishes, and still remain friends while on while at school too. But you just said. He laughed and shook his head. I was not being serious. I do expect you to respect their wishes. Celia nodded again quietly, her body sinking into the back of the couch. She leaned more of her body against it. Maybe she should talk to Vanessa and see what was going on. All right. Oh, I got another ping. Okay, that one's not that important. Alrighty, give me a sec. I'm gonna look up a couple things real quick. I'm doing a little bit of research right now. All right, so oh, okay. I forget what polls I've done in the past. But I think I'm gonna put up another one. I'm just, okay, so basically we need to figure out why Vanessa is ending the relationship. And it's not because her parents are abusive. Let's see. Excuse me. Okay, so I've got a couple ideas. All right, so we're going to put up a poll. If I can click the right stuff. All right, YouTube has more viewers than Twitch has more viewers than YouTube does currently, so we're going to start with Twitch. All right, why can Vanessa no longer be friends with? What is happening to Vanessa after the year ends? School year ends. Terminal illness. Arranged marriage. We'll just do one more. See, part of me wants to be like she's going into the military, but that's not like a death sentence that makes you stop hanging out with your friends. Technically, now there's an arranged marriage. I'll say arranged marriage overseas. Ooh. This is gonna take the story into a wild ride, but we're gonna do this. True crime parents. True crime parents. Wanted parents. All right. So yeah. I think everything prior to this has pointed toward terminal illness. So I'm going to be kind of shocked if it isn't that. But, you know, that's what the community stuff is for, and that's what the polls are for, and that's what, honestly, you know, editing is for. So let's start the polls. Y'all have 10 minutes. I'm gonna check something in my browser real quick. Just gonna, don't mind that. Okay. Okay. All right. So, back to the writing. Maybe she should talk to Vanessa to see about what's going on. What is it? What do you want? Vanessa's voice echoed in the empty bathroom, or against the tiled walls of the bathroom. Sylvia looked up. Vanessa's tired voice. Ha ha ha. Sylvia looked up from where she was leaning against, where she was leaning her body, was leaning her body over one of the sinks in an effort not to lose her breakfast, and turned to face Vanessa, who had just stepped into the otherwise empty restroom. This was not the common restroom that most students used, the one that they had tried talking in a few weeks earlier. No, this one was much less unused and was located in a far corner of the school campus. Both girls were either going to be late to class or miss it entirely after this conversation. Regardless, still, Sylvia could not help, regardless of how their attendance records would look. Sylvia felt a strong relief come over her as she saw her friend, her former friend, in that doorway. I was hoping you'd come, she said. Vanessa shrugged, trying to play, shrugged and leaned her shoulder against the wall just inside of the doorway. It seems like something to do, she said. Sylvia narrowed her eyes. She was pretty sure Vanessa was trying to pretend to be aloof and not caring. But she wasn't confident about that. Her dad was right. She didn't pay much attention to her former friend much after the note was given, and so she didn't really know how Vanessa felt about the whole thing. Yeah, again, editing is going to need to be happening here. Alright. Earlier that day, after her talk with her father, she was determined to at least try to talk with Vanessa and learn her stance on everything. She didn't truly give her any chances after the note had been given. And Vanessa walked off, and Sylvia just focused on what was ahead of her, on what she could focus on to get her mind off of the situation. Now she was trying to at least come to terms with her former friend's parents' decision. She wrote a note and slipped it into Vanessa's locker when she got to school in the morning and had asked her to meet in this restroom between the first and second periods. That way, if they were late between first and second periods, no one would be calling their homes if the second period was missed. Attendance was missed. And finally, now, Vanessa was standing here. Her eyes anywhere but on Sylvia, waiting to see, waiting for a response from the blonde teenager. So Sylvia began suddenly, her turned into awkwardness. So sorry, I had to stretch. So how have you been? She asked the first question. She asked nervously. Sorry, got a glare on my screen. That should be better. How have you been? She asked nervously. Small talk. As much as she preferred to ask Vanessa about what happened, she was nervous. She was frightened about how that conversation would go and preferred to use the small talk and preferred to have small talk instead. Vanessa raised an eyebrow at the question, and this time she looked up at her former friend, at Sylvia. She opened her mouth to say something, but closed it and chewed on her thoughts for a moment before returning just a simple "Fine. You?" Sylvia wanted to complain about how wrecked and broken she had been since receiving her former friend's note. But found herself unable to find those words. Technically, she didn't need to let Vanessa know about that. It was her parents' fault. She would probably feel guilty about all of it, knowing how Vanessa usually was. It was her parents' fault. They should feel guilty. But Sylvia reconciled. Sylvia reasoned. Since they were callous enough to end their friendship, they probably wouldn't feel any guilt or the depression Sylvia went through. Fine, she answered in return. The two girls stood there in the restroom in awkward silence before Vanessa let out an exasperated sigh. Look, your note said to meet you here so that we can talk about things. What things do you want to talk about? Her voice wavered, but she... Of course, now it recognizes that. Anyway, her voice wavered, but she still carried it through with a not convincing, with a firm tone. Sylvia gulped again, and shrugged. She began, feeling lame. I need to talk. I know what I want to talk about, she explained. But I don't know how to get the words out or how to talk about it. Vanessa's expression softened, and her face, Vanessa's expression softened, and she began to look like she was about to cry. Sylvia, she whispered. Look, I'm sorry, she started. I was depressed, Sylvia blurted out. Finding that she wanted Vanessa to know what happened to her before she got any apologies. Before she said any apologies. I was depressed and very sad. I don't know how you were feeling, but I wasn't fine, like I just said. I was depressed and awful and I felt terrible. She let out a sigh. I hate that your parents are making this decision about our friendship. But my dad convinced me that we should respect your parents' wishes. So we will. Sylvia nodded, mostly to herself. Vanessa frowned. That's big. That's big of you. She replied. I am sorry that I made you depressed, though. I knew that we'd both be sad because, but I had no idea how bad it would make you. I'm so sorry. She finally got the apology out. Sylvia winced. She had a feeling that Vanessa wasn't happy about the friendship breakup either, but because she was ignoring Vanessa during classes, she had no idea how badly her former friend was affected by it too. It's fine, Sylvia said. I'm trying to work through it. This is part of working through it, she explained. Vanessa nodded. I'm glad. Hope we can both work through this and not see any issue through this without any problems. Me too. Vanessa swallowed and shuffled. And then once again, awkward silence filled the air as the girls shuffled, as the girls tried to find something to say. Oh, that's right, we have until 4 today, so we have less than 45 minutes left. And there was, the poll has ended, so we can get to that part of the story. Vanessa. Sylvia spoke up finally. She had a pit in her stomach, but she had to ask. She had to know. Why don't your parents think it's... I'm actually gonna screw up a little bit to look at the note, because I've actually not looked at it since I wrote it. It does not... I'm sorry. We stopped being friends. My parents tell me that all. They haven't told me why they're concerned. The future. I don't agree with them. I think they are. And the only time. Okay, yeah, a few months left to be friends is the key phrase there. That's a good idea for us to be friends. She shook her brunette head, her brunette hair, her brunette head. I don't know the details, but I think it's because, well, I'm not going to be around much longer after we graduate. Alright, let's take a look. So no votes on YouTube. Man, y'all have been like vote shy lately. No votes on Twitch either. Come on, guys. Alright, well in the poll, we'll just do a roll. Roll 1 and 2 is illness. 3 and 4 is betrothed. Just trying to use single words here. Wanted. It is illness. Okay. Okay, so that's honestly slightly easier for me to work into the story without it going wild. Okay, let's see. She shook her brunette head. I don't know the details, but I think it's because, well... Sylvia blinked. You're going to college, right? Vanessa shook her head. No, Sylvia. I'm dying. Alright. Okay, so that's a good point to end this scene on, but I think I want to fluff it out a little bit more so I'm coming back up for a couple paragraphs. You're going to college, right? Okay, I don't know. I don't know the details. I never bothered to ask. But I think it's because, well, I'm not going to be around much longer. After we graduate, she winced as she said, as she let those words come out of her mouth. You're going to college, right? What other reason could there be for someone not being around much longer after graduation? Her family just moved to the area, and moving, or to be with family, so it didn't. Oh, haha! Light bulbs are going off, guys. Her family just moved to the area to be with family, so it didn't make any sense they'd be moving so shortly afterwards. Unless it was for something serious. So, but if Vanessa was going to college, then that would mean that she, and only she, was literally not going to be around much longer after school let out. Still, it didn't make sense. Just because Vanessa would be going to college and Celia wouldn't, didn't mean that they couldn't be friends after the fact. Vanessa shook her head. No, Celia, I'm dying. I'm going to need to do some terminal illness research, but I think I'm going to go with cancer for this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm trying to see, like, I know how, like, alright, this is a famous catchphrase. Hold on. This is how we're going to start this section. Fuck cancer. Get up his butt. Sorry. Excuse me. The two girls sat on the bench outside of the restroom where they had met. Neither of them spoke. Neither of them spoke. Both lost in thought. They knew after Vanessa came clean with why she understood her parents' desire. Well, let me get back to that. I don't know the details, but I can understand why they think it's a good idea. I think it's because, well, when she understood her parents' decision after Vanessa about why she had, well, actually, that's still, it feels selfish, but that's fine. After Vanessa came clean about with why she understood her parents' concern with their friendship, the two of them left the restroom to sit on the benches and get some fresh air as they talked. They knew a teacher. They knew that if a teacher were to walk by, they would both likely be in trouble. Sometimes getting in trouble, and trouble is worth it. Okay. I was doing so well, Vanessa said quietly, looking at her hands. And then about a month ago, well, no, we're in April, and then a couple months ago, around the time we started gelling, around the time we started getting to know each other, to become friends. Around the time we started to become friends, the results came back. Hold on, let me make sure I'm using the correct word here. Okay, so it's not remission. I was in remission, but I haven't even decided what kind it is. Hold on. Yep. But then it came back. They call it a recurrence. She let out a slow exhale. I'm gonna have to probably do some research offline, but targeted drugs. Oh. Oh. So I'm just doing a bit of research. Well, that's good. So Sorry. Yeah, this, like, researching diseases can take me down a rabbit hole. Okay. That doesn't help. Oh, hey, that's the center that we visited. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Oh. Fuck cancer. Sorry. Alright, yes, this is, I'm gonna have to do a bit of research on this stuff, but I think I know where I'm gonna lean toward the illness. Alright, I was doing so well, Vanessa said quietly, looking at her hands, and then a couple months ago, around the time we started to become friends, the results came back. I was in remission, but then it came back, we call it recurrence, she let it so exhale. It's melanoma. They call it recurrent. She let us exhale. My family was so relieved when we thought it was gone. She looked to her side at Sylvia. I only started school here last year, but I've technically been a student for 2 years. I just spent so much of my time at the hospital trying to take care, trying to get rid of the cancer. They let me do my studies in the district for 2 years at the hospital, trying to get rid of the cancer using an online virtual school. Then last May they said it was in remission, so I was allowed to actually come to school this year. She smiled. I'm glad I got the chance to meet you. I wasn't lying when I said what I said all those months ago. Sylvia asked. She was having a tough time keeping her mind focused on what Vanessa was telling her. It was hard enough. After she let out the bombshell that she was dying. And with the additional information that it was cancer. Celia was trying to figure out if there were any signs that she had missed along the way. Apparently there weren't. But she still felt like she should have known. Vanessa smiled about you being unique. I liked it. Not many people dance to the beat of their own drum. Or I guess paint to the stroke of their own brush. She grinned as she changed the phrase to match her friend better. Oh. Sylvia blushed and looked down. I never thought you were lying. I just thought it was weird. I guess people don't go around calling each other interesting. That we do not. Sylvia agreed. One sec. Sorry about that. Okay, where were we? I guess people don't want to call each other interesting enough, huh? That we do not, Celia agreed. The girls both shared a soft chuckle and then fell into comfortable silence. How much time? Sylvia asked. Vanessa shrugged. I'm not sure. It's more aggressive this time. So they said some, so it's more aggressive. And it was already stage 3. Oops, can't type. When it was removed the first time. She closed her eyes and exhaled through her nose. So it's back, and they said yeah, I'm just going to type this in for word count, but this is definitely something that'll have to be researched and edited down, or edited for accuracy. It either looks like it's just a very aggressive stage 4 or stage 3, or it's early stage 4. That was 2 months ago, right? How did they not know? How are they not sure? What's the difference? Vanessa smiled, her eyes still closed, and just shrugged. I don't know why they can't determine which stage it is. 4 is deadlier than 3, though. Her eyes opened and seemed to fixate on something far away in a distance that was not at all a distance that something far away in a distance that Celia couldn't see. There was a building. No, we'll worry about that later. Seemed the doctors said that either way, things don't look good. No, not the thumbs up. Not the thumbs up this time, Avatar person. Things don't look good. The difference in stages just means that if it's stage 3, I might be able to live longer. Can't they remove it again? Vanessa shrugged. Maybe. But it would be much more aggressive. But the treatment was almost unbearable. Vanessa shrugged again. Maybe. She winced, her eyes still fixed on some unknown object in the distance. Tears began to well in her eyes. But the treatment was almost brutal, was almost unbearable that first time. If they had to do it again, it would be even worse. This time, because of how bad the recurrence is. She hiccuped. One sec. Weird. Okay. She hiccuped. And squeezed her eyes shut. Squeeze her eyes shut. If it's a stage 3, they said they could probably do it again with more aggressive treatment. If it's a state, but if it's a 4, there's no guarantee of survivability, even if they were to do the most aggressive treatment. Sylvia reached out and put a hand on her friend's shoulder and gave it a gentle squeeze. Hey, I'm right here, she said comfortingly. Thanks. Vanessa said, turning a teary gaze toward her blonde classmate, and smiled thankfully. I mean it. Thank you for your friendship. Sylvia felt herself give a little smile in return, and she swallowed. I think there's a fly buzzing around here. Oh well. Give a little smile in turn. And she frowned and asked, so, I don't get it. I don't get it, Vanessa. Don't get what? She asked. You're gonna... She trailed off, not wanting to finish that particular thought. Why wouldn't you want to have friends? Isn't it miserable? Why wouldn't you want to have friends? Friends to be there around you. My family, she said, almost as a practiced excuse. Family doesn't cut it. Cynthia aside. Family's good and all. But it's not the same as having a friend. If you've got a friend within your family, that's great. But do you? Vanessa just stared at Celia for a moment before letting her shoulders slump and shook her head. No, I love everyone in my family, but I don't have anyone cute that I can talk to openly. That word somehow struck a nerve with Celia. I'm sorry there's not too many polls this go around, guys. I feel like this isn't much to actually poll on, so yeah, kind of serious scenes. That word somehow struck a nerve with Celia, and she leaned back and pulled her shoulders down to openly. Yeah. Then why didn't you tell me? Vanessa's eyes went wide like a deer in the headlights. I don't know, she answered sheepishly. I guess I figured I would tell you if it came up. She shrugged. But it never really did until now. Yeah, we'll see. I guess I figured I would tell you if it came up, but it never really did until now. I guess I was just hoping I would never have to tell you. You thought... Celia shook her head. Why would you hope that you would never tell me? Didn't that mean... Yeah, we'll just have her call her out. You never... It sounds like you either expected to die suddenly, or that we wouldn't be friends. Long enough for me to find out. I'll still find out. This city's not a big one, she pointed out. Vanessa's teary eyes began to allow the tears to spill. I'm sorry, she said over and over again. I don't know. I didn't want to tell you. I didn't want to tell you. I didn't want to deal with it. I'm currently feeling fine. For the most part. don't want to deal with it. I'm currently healing fine for the most part. I hoped that it would just go away. Sylvia asked, recalling what her father had said about hardships the night before. I gotta wrap it up. Something like that. Vanessa admitted. Sylvia sighed. Alright, so we'll go ahead and end there. That was more powerful than I expected it to be, guys. Still haven't quite pinned down what kind of cancer it is yet, but at least we got something on the books for that, and some things kind of answered. So yeah, we are going to go ahead and start wrapping it up. I don't have anything to poll you guys on today. I'm sorry. I do see that there's not very many viewers across both channels though, so I guess if I did put up another poll, it would be like the last one and there would be no votes. But that's fine. But either way, today's story was definitely took us into a turn for the emotional side of things, for sure. Tomorrow, I think, tomorrow it should be in, I have something very early tomorrow, but not early enough to the point where it'll impact the stream either way. So I think I should be good to stream relatively early tomorrow, and tomorrow will be a pretty long stream, I think. So that's good. What else? Sorry. My brain is having a hard time right now. So yeah, I should be streaming probably somewhere between 10 and 11 tomorrow. Again, I don't have anything that I have to do tomorrow early in the morning. I do have some people to reach out to. I have a couple things to do tonight. But tomorrow, there shouldn't be much. If there is, I'll post it probably on Instagram or somewhere else. The usual channels. And then tomorrow we'll be going until 6. Yeah. So I will see y'all tomorrow. YouTube viewers, go ahead and throw me a like and subscribe. It does help out the channel. You can go ahead and also stop watching now if you want. I'm going to turn off when the offline screen goes off. Twitch viewers, I will be rolling another 3-minute ad once the offline screen comes up. If you would be so kind as to sit through all of the ads, it does help the revenue for babydj.org. I would greatly appreciate it if you were to help out with that. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Bye!